Another one.
Is it possible to moonlight as a QA engineer? Moonlighting is an old world. It's an old word for freelancing, right? So the question pretty much said, I got too much stuff on the screen. All right, it said, I am a QA working a 9 to 5 job. I am looking for a side hustle as a QA as a part-time freelancer. Can you guys help me point to platforms to start from? So here's the thing. I'm going to start the clock. All right. Clock is started. So I'm going to tell you this. To do freelance QA is extremely, extremely hard to come by. Why is that? Well, you see all the questions that we read on a regular basis where people are saying, I don't feel valued as a QA person, right? I don't feel valued as a QA engineer. I don't feel valued as a QA tester. Oh, no one loves me. Woe is me, blah, 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 right? All these people. But at the same time, people are making $300,000 a year working 2 QA jobs, right? Yeah. But so on one hand, people are making $300,000 to $400,000 a year within 6 months, whatever the case may be. And on the other hand, people who work in QA say they feel absolutely devalued. No one loves them. Everyone hates me. They're and they're like,
I hate it here. I want to go home.
very sad, right? Very sad. But so freelancing in QA, it's extremely hard to come by because a lot of companies, a lot of startups, they just want to they don't see the need for QA until their product is an absolute disaster. Until it's a disaster, that's when they want to do QA, and then now they have to pay QA more to get them out of the mess that they're in. And then after they're out of the mess, we don't need QA anymore. So the logic doesn't make sense. But it is hard to get freelance QA work. I've looked on sites like Upwork for QA work, and I think a lot of the stuff that they show on there are scams and trash. But when I was working with a former tech barbarian, we were able to find an actual QA role, which was part-time freelance, where they actually were doing automation in Cypress and stuff like that. So is it possible? Of course it's possible. Is it easy to find? Not really. You can definitely check places like Upwork, maybe Fiverr, I don't know. But what I would see more though is, I would say try to find startups who might not have any QA, but startups are like, so there's 2 types of startups, right? I made a video about this. There's like startups who are like legit companies, LLCs, where they have buildings and stuff like that. They have funding and things like that. And there's startups where it's like me and Mitch started a building an app in my my garage, or they took the Bill Gates approach, maybe, I don't know. And then we don't have a developer who says, hey, we need a developer, but we can't pay you. And because it's just a cool idea. And then when we're working on the stuff, like we're trying to do everything for free, and it's kind of messy. It is kind of messy. You know? So that's the intricacies that come with it. Sometimes you can find these QA roles, but it's more likely that you're going to get freelancing as a web developer, as a backend engineer, maybe someone to set up infrastructure. QA, possible, but like if you go look on Upwork, right, and you search for a QA freelancing position, it's gonna be hard to come by. I'm sorry, but I have to be honest with you. I am not going to tell you that you're going to be making $300,000 a year as a QA engineer. Like it's possible if you get like on Friday when we talk about the TikTok ban. We're going to be reviewing some TikTok positions, that like some open TikTok positions listed on LinkedIn in the United States, and their pay range is pretty high. It's pretty high.
Money.
But freelancing, like you can maybe get a contractor position for like an actual company that's going to place you somewhere. But then even with those are more kind of like full time. They expect you to be on like 9 to 5 ish. But finding a place to like freelance QA, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. All right. And Tony has a little bit of contribution to this, right? So Tony says, oh wait, let me hide this out of the way. So I worked at a large place that hired contractors to bump test coverage over 80% and hook up the test harness. Startups, not so much unless they absolutely need someone. I agree. And Tony says, continued on the startup topic, you won't just be doing QA either. At most startups, you'll be wearing many hats. That is also a fact. That is a fact. All right. And I work at a pretty large company and I still wear many hats, mostly by choice because I like dipping and diving into all those little things, you know? But especially like if you are fairly new, maybe, I don't know. I would say here's what I would say. I would say don't really focus much on doing freelance QA. I would say learn how to do other stuff so that you can have more like different freelance skills, like maybe web development. Because guess what? You'd be great if you learn how to do those things because you will know like how to test them properly, right? And then learn how to write like proper unit tests, automation tests, all of that good stuff. And I don't know. Like the gig economy is not what it used to be. Freelancing is not what it used to be. All right. So, that's how I see it. All right. That is how I see it. So hopefully that helps. All right. So with that being said, we're going to wrap this question up.
If you enjoyed the fascinating information shared in this video and you want more, be sure to hit the subscribe button to Tech Coach Ralph to be notified for new videos.
Enigmatic Joker.